Those are the first blooms on any of the bean plants, and that's the dragon's tongue. And so those are like, that plant's like way smaller than all of these limas. The limas haven't bloomed yet. I don't know when they're supposed to. I don't know if how the dragon's tongue is gonna do either. All of that's just complete trial. Never grown that before. Man, these ants really found themselves another colony of aphids to farm on my okra again, even though the okra is like pretty much done. The aphids don't care apparently. These bees are on the marigolds that are just laying on the wood chips that I pulled up yesterday. I guess they don't care. I guess the flowers still have stuff in them for the bees. I realized this morning, I was just thinking about it, that if I go ahead and fill out this whole bed with what? This little bug is like attracted to me. They do this all the time. This little bug right here. They literally will just fly towards, like I can see them coming from a long distance off, and they'll just fly right to me and they'll try to land on me. I guess they're just curious as to what I am, but it's kind of annoying. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So if I go ahead and fill out this first bed with all the compost from compost heap number 1, then that bin will be empty, and I can go ahead and put all of that, the big pile of stuff that isn't in a bin right now, I can put that into that bin rather than having to go ahead and build a new bin right now, which I'm probably going to build a new bin anyway eventually, a third bin, but at least for now I can go ahead and contain all of that material into bin number 1 once I get out compost heap number 1 and put it into this new bed. So maybe I should work on doing that, getting all the compost out into this bed, fill out this bed as much as possible, and then I can move that stuff into that bin. The onions and the cabbages are looking good so far. It's supposed to rain tonight and tomorrow a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the grass today before that happens, because if I wait and then it rains, then the grass will be huge and thick and difficult to cut. So I'm going to knock that out today. Alright, the grass is cut. I did cut the side yard too. I didn't film it because, well, it's pretty boring, but also I needed to charge the battery. I forgot to charge the battery, the camera battery, last night. So I needed to give it a little bit of juice, and I ate lunch. And now it is time to get working on this garden bed again. That is an incredible arm workout. If I did that a whole lot, I'd have huge arms. Okay, so I think the best thing for me to do now is I'm not gonna finish this bed right here because I don't have enough compost. I mean, I might have enough compost to finish this bed, but I want all of this to be deeper than it is. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and get the rest of the compost out, but put it on what's already here to add another inch or two to this whole thing, and then I think that'll be ideal. I think that'll be better than the whole bed only being like an inch deep, because I definitely want as deep of good compost as I can get. And then once my next compost heap is done, then I'll be able to fill out the rest of this bed and then finish and then start the other 2 beds as well, hopefully. And then obviously that cycle just continues. I make more compost, fill out the beds more, and then eventually all 4 beds are full, and then each time I have fresh compost, I can just add compost on top of it as time progresses. Okay, that's it. That is all of the compost out of compost heap number 1 out onto this bed. I don't think it's quite as deep as I wanted it, but it's pretty close. I think it's okay. And the first things that'll go into it will be the cabbage and the onions that I planted that are growing right now, that are really little tiny sproutlings, but I could plant stuff directly in here and just see what happens. I might actually do that, just to test it out. Okay, so now I need to move that heap back in the back into bin number 1, where I just removed all this from. Okay, well, that is a lot of material. It's way over the front wall here, which is great because it's gonna, you know, compress down, and as it decomposes, it's just gonna get lower and lower, and eventually it'll be lower than this front wall even. But for now, it's quite a lot of material, more material than I had in this one. I mean, as you can see, this one is way lower than the front wall, and it was right about even with the front wall when I can stop putting stuff in it. So, okay, cool. Now I've freed up the space where that pile was, and now I can start another pile, and then eventually build another bin.